What does it take to rise from nothing? From war-torn streets and near death to the helm of a multi-billion-dollar company that helped shape the digital world. This is the story of Andrew Grove, a man who began with absolutely nothing, fleeing persecution, narrowly surviving disease and dictatorship, and went on to become one of the greatest business minds of the 20th century. The man who helped build Intel, who quietly drove the rise of modern computing, and whose relentless willpower turned unimaginable hardship into global impact. Andrew Grove was born Andras István Grof in Budapest, Hungary in 1936. As a young Jewish boy in Eastern Europe during one of the darkest chapters in human history, he was exposed to brutality, hatred and chaos from the earliest age. When the Nazis invaded Hungary in 1944, his life was thrown into unimaginable danger. More than 500,000 Hungarian Jews were deported to concentration camps. The Holocaust had arrived at his doorstep. Grove, just 8 years old, was forced into hiding. He and his mother used false identities and moved from place to place, dodging Nazi patrols and anti-Semitic informants. His father was captured and sent to a forced labor camp. The odds of survival were incredibly low, but through courage, secrecy and sheer chance, Grove and his mother made it out alive. When the war ended, freedom did not come. Hungary fell under Soviet rule. Political oppression replaced Nazi terror, and once again the dream of a normal life was out of reach. When Andrew was 20 years old, the Hungarian Revolution erupted. Tanks rolled through the streets, bullets flew, protesters were gunned down by Soviet troops, and Grove, like so many others, saw a narrow window to escape. He fled the country on foot, crossing the border into Austria with nothing more than the clothes he wore and a steely determination to survive. He was a refugee, stateless, unknown to the world. But in that chaos, he saw something else. A chance to start over. Eventually, he made it to the United States. He didn't speak much English, he had no money, no family to support him. But he had something many people never find. He had purpose, he had grit, and he had a mind built for clarity under pressure. He enrolled at the City College of New York, one of the few institutions that welcome poor immigrants. He worked during the day, often waiting tables or doing odd jobs, and studied deep into the night. He excelled in chemistry and engineering, and soon he earned a scholarship to pursue a PhD at the University of California, Berkeley. Imagine that for a moment, a boy who once feared for his life in the ruins of Budapest was now standing in the labs of one of the most prestigious American universities, developing scientific knowledge that would later transform the world. After graduating, Grove joined Fairchild Semiconductor, a company at the heart of the early tech movement. It was there he met two visionaries, Robert Noyce and Gordon Moore. They would go on to found Intel, and they brought Andrew Grove with them. But Grove wasn't just a supporting character, he became the engine. While Noyce and Moore were inventors and idealists, Grove was the executor. He believed in discipline, in urgency, in execution. He had lived through war, through dictatorship, through exile. He knew that hesitation could be fatal, and he ran Intel like a man who had no tolerance for failure. Intel began with memory chips, but Grove saw something others didn't. He saw the future in microprocessors, tiny chips that would act as the brains of a computer. He drove Intel to invest heavily in this new direction, betting everything on a future most people couldn't yet imagine. And when the personal computer revolution exploded, Intel was at the center of it. Under Grove's leadership, Intel became the world's leading manufacturer of microprocessors. Their chips powered IBM machines, then Microsoft Windows computers. The phrase, Intel Inside, became one of the most iconic brand slogans of the 1990s. But this success didn't come from luck. It came from Grove's fierce, sometimes brutal commitment to excellence. He once famously said, "Only the paranoid survive." It wasn't a catchy quote, it was his entire philosophy. He believed that comfort breeds failure, that success leads to arrogance, that in business, as in life, the moment you stop being afraid of the future is the moment you fall behind. He kept Intel lean, fast, aggressive. He didn't tolerate excuses, and he didn't believe in waiting for the storm to pass. He believed in building a stronger ship. But Grove wasn't just a business strategist, he was a teacher, a writer, a mentor. He authored several books, including and both of which are still studied today by entrepreneurs, CEOs, and innovators. His ideas shaped how tech companies are managed, how leaders think, and how disruption is handled. He battled personal challenges too. In the 1990s, he was diagnosed with prostate cancer. He approached it like he did everything else, analytically, urgently, and relentlessly. He researched the disease, questioned doctors, and made aggressive decisions about his treatment. He even published his experiences, hoping others could learn from his fight. And still, even as his fame grew, Grove never forgot what it meant to be poor, to be voiceless. He donated millions to education and science. He funded programs for immigrants and underprivileged students. He championed public health and supported causes that fought against the very kind of suffering he had endured in his youth. In 1997, named him Man of the Year. They didn't do it because he was a celebrity. They did it because Andrew Grove represented the spirit of transformation. He wasn't born into privilege. He didn't have connections or wealth. He had trauma, he had pain, he had scars. But he used them, he turned them into power. And that power changed the course of technology and the world. Andrew Grove passed away in 2016 at the age of 79. He left behind a legacy not just of silicon chips and financial success, but of example. His life is proof that your origins don't define your outcome, that being underestimated is a gift. That struggle, when met with courage, can forge brilliance. If you feel like you're starting too far behind, remember Andrew Grove. If you think the world is too unfair or your chances too small, remember Andrew Grove. Because this man started his life hiding from Nazis and ended it running one of the most powerful companies on earth. He didn't just survive, he changed the world. And if he could do it, why not you? If this story inspired you, take a second to like this video, subscribe for more powerful stories, and share it with someone who needs hope right now. Because no matter where you begin, your journey can still lead to greatness. The next Andrew Grove might just be watching this and deciding to take that first step.